Now I'm very pleased to welcome an inspiring speaker. He's passionate about people, talent, HR, and of course, technology. Successful author of several books on talent management, he has a very exciting presentation on how to align the employee journey with the company vision. I don't want to spoil. Please help me welcome Alexandre Pachulski.
Thank you, Asha. Hello, everyone. So obviously, I'm extremely happy to be here. Yes, it's true. It's a kind of dream coming true for us. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to start with the conclusion, actually, of the roundtable, meaning how to connect employee journey with the company mission, the company vision. And obviously, it's extremely talking about that today without talking about this new thing coming in town called AI. Because what we've been said is that AI was about to kill our jobs. It was about to replace us. But actually, is it true? We don't know. Is AI a friend or a foe? Actually, when I talk about AI to my friends, to most people, they think about the Terminator. Have you seen the Terminator movie of James Cameron? Who saw it? Obviously. So in the first Terminator movie of 1984, the Terminator comes from the future to kill Sarah Connor, the famous Sarah Connor. Why? Because she's about to be the mother of John Connor, who is the leader of the revolution against the machine in the future. Very simple for those who didn't see the movie. And actually, is the enemy. And in the 1991 movie, the second episode of Terminator, the same Terminator, the T-800, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger, he comes from the future, but not to kill John Connor, to save John Connor. It's the same Terminator, but on the one hand, he wants to kill the hero, and on the second hand, he wants to save it. Why? Because he's been told to do something different. And it's all about us, actually. What are we going to ask to AI? We could imagine today, it's in our hands, to collaborate with AI. So, of course, you know Knight Rider. And Michael Knight is a very good friend of Kit, this car we all want, or we all dreamt about conducting, because you've got this AI inside that helps the hero to do whatever he's got to. We could also dream about BB-8, R2-D2, C3PO, all these robots that are very good friends. And in the labor market, we obviously could imagine that AI help us not to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. It could warn us, hey, do you know what? You've got this incredible opportunity for you here in this company. Oh, you should meet this person, or you should develop this skill. We could feel as if we were all CEOs, and we all have our personal assistant dedicated to us, to our career, to our happiness. It could be great, and it's still possible. And obviously, we could also expect from AI to help us to quit deterministic behaviors. Because let's be honest, we are quite deterministic. Just take the recruiting process. We all recruit depending on diplomas, number of years of experience, are you fluent in this or this language, Chinese, English, I don't know. And at the end, the risk is that we are all looking for the same profiles. But cannot we be more imaginative? Couldn't we take some risk hiring people, kind of weird profiles that could match, actually, with your mission, with your vision? Why don't we take this risk? And AI could help us, because AI has got no a priori. AI is going to create new knowledge thanks to its inductive mechanism. So AI could help us to be fresh, to be new, to create new opportunities. That's what we expect from AI. And actually, and this is why we are here, this is what Elodie and her team are going to demonstrate to you. The whole thing is about aligning people's expectations, people's aspirations, people's ambitions with the company needs. So obviously, I'm the chief product officer. I could tell you technology is going to save you. But it's a lie. Because a lot of work has got to be done before by employees and by companies. Why? Because it's not that easy to know our own aspirations. In the audience, please be genuine. Who can say, I perfectly know what I want to do with my life and I've got the perfect work? Please raise the hand. 2 people, please, Talentsoft, raise the hand at least. Okay, guys, we've got customers here. Okay. So it's very difficult. Why? Because we have never been helped to do so. What I'm talking about here, I'm talking about the Japanese concept of ikigai. Who knows the ikigai concept? Yeah. Ikigai is very simple. It's at the intersection of 4 things. What you love doing, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. This is the perfect spot. This is the dream of everyone, finding its own ikigai. And if we take this regular guy, Luke Skywalker, from Star Wars, he loves saving the world with his friends, okay? And he's pretty good at that. Why? Because he's a Jedi. And it's very convenient to be a Jedi to save the world. And the world really needs it because you've got the Emperor, you've got Darth Vader, and you've got a rebellion that can pay Luke Skywalker to do so. So he has found this perfect spot. But it's very difficult for employees to do so. School doesn't help us. Companies don't help us that much. And so you've got to develop new skills. Yes, we always talk about developing new skills facing the technology, but actually, new skills are required to discover, to know our own aspirations. And the first skill we've got to develop is our ability to learn, learn to unlearn, learn to relearn. Yeah, who didn't take a coffee? Because you're going to need it. Okay? Very simple. Who has got an iPhone 10 in the audience? Please. Okay? So you probably experienced the same thing than me. When I got the iPhone 10, I have got to unlearn everything I knew about the iPhone 7. Why? Because I lost this central button in the middle of the iPhone, and so just shutting my iPhone down was a challenge. So it was all about learning a new device, to unlearn the former device. But the problem is that my mother, she has kept the iPhone 7. And obviously, each time I see her, it's all about, oh, Alex, I've got my photo synchronization with iTunes. Obviously, everyone does. So I've got to relearn how the iPhone 7 is working. And then I come back to my iPhone 10. Well, it's quite complicated, and I am not that old. So if I struggle at doing that for an iPhone, imagine when AI is about to come. But also imagine about the cultural shift Henrik Rosender was talking about like half an hour ago. It was all about switching culture. Can you imagine for employees how difficult it is when they join a new company, a new organization, new culture, new colleagues? And so they've got to learn, they've got to unlearn, they've got to relearn, and it's extremely complex. And technology is not necessarily going to help us. It's a new skill we've got to develop to do so. And then we've got to develop critical thinking. We've got to listen to John Keating, you know, Robin Williams, that asked people to raise on tables. So please, what I'm going to ask you, no, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you anything, and there are no tables anyway. But the idea was to stand up on the tables to look at the world under a different angle. And we need that, because actually, we've got tons of beliefs, first about ourselves, what we can't do, what we can do, what we are good at, what we are bad at, but actually who told us what we could do? School, education, parents, I don't know. But when you deal with employee aspirations, in a way, you've got to do a kind of reboot and help them to be fresh. And they've got to develop this critical thinking, because now the problem of society is that because we have read 2 tweets and saw 1 YouTube video, we believe that we know everything about quantum physics, about neurosciences. But when we look at Glassdoor or at LinkedIn, we believe we know everything about the company. But we don't. And most of the time, we build our careers about what we believe about this position, about this company, about this manager. But what do we really know? And I love this, what you said, Alexandre, with the golden ticket. The golden ticket is an answer to say, you really know what a job is all about when you live this job, when you experience this job, when you experience this culture. And so the critical thinking, it's all about finding the why. Why do you ask me that? Objective management, that Elodie is going to demonstrate in a few minutes, is a very good way to understand the why do I come every morning at work? To achieve what? And as you said, Henrik, it's all about understanding what is your contribution, but you've got to be very critical about what you've heard, what you've been said, and it's essential to deal with your own aspirations. And then, if you work with the left side of the brain for the critical thinking, you've got to work with the right one to be extremely creative. And we know creative people. Let's just take for a while Elon Musk. Well, a morning he said, oh, you know what? I could send my Tesla into space attached on a spaceship that I've also built on a David Bowie song. Why not? It's extremely creative. And not so many people can be as creative as him, but actually we can learn this skill. And this skill is mandatory, because I've got bad news. Your ikigai is not predefined. The employee's ikigai doesn't really exist. They've got to create it. They've got to create their own space. And that's why, once again, Elodie and her team are going to show you why the learning dimension is so important today. Why learning is kind of a way of living. Because learning is all about creating things that don't exist, taking risk to create your own space, to take new challenges. And you can take this risk, it's okay, if it's secured, because you will learn what you've got to. And now you learn by doing so. Aspirations deals with the ability to take new challenges, to take bets, and to be quite good with these bets. And at the end, obviously, it's all about assuming your own singularity. You recognize Billy Elliot? He wanted to become a dancer, but he was living in a family where everyone was a boxer. But how many boxers in the room that wanted to do some dancing, actually? But once again, we've been told what we could do, not do, and so on. And when dealing with aspirations, are you sure, as HR, that you really encourage people to say what they really want to achieve? Because they've joined the company for a given position, do they have to stay on this position for 5 years? Couldn't it be that suddenly they say, oh, you know what, actually, I just wanted to come to this company, to join this company, but this position is not my dream job. I would like to do something else. Are you ready to listen to that? Because yes, we are going to talk about you right now. We are going to talk about companies. And as you said before during the round table, company, they have got to change if they want to welcome people aspirations, people ambitions, people expectations. Honestly, companies today are not ready to go. They are not dream compliant. Why? Because first, we are still trying to organize things to favor, to help people to enable fulfillment. Yes, we know that fulfillment of employees is the key to successful organizations. Organizations, they need to innovate. To be competitive, They rely on the engagement, the commitment, the will of each employee to give the best of himself. But to do so, he's got to be motivated. And to be motivated, you've got to be sure that his personal journey is aligned to your mission, is aligned to the objectives you're giving to him. And so that's the real key, fulfillment. And there is a very simple secret sauce to succeed in that. First, you've got to allow people to stay natural. So on the left, you've got Mystica from the X-Men, a mutant, that has got a blue skin. But each time, she tries to take the appearance of a very nice girl, Jennifer Lawrence, actually, but she's hiding her blue skin because she's ashamed of it. But how many people have got a blue skin in your company and they are quite ashamed of it and they don't want to show what they really are? They are not natural because they believe they've got to adopt a behavior that is not their behavior, and they become kind of schizophrenic. And actually, can you really be innovative, fulfilled, and engaged if you are totally schizophrenic? I don't believe so. And you also have to think in terms of opportunities rather than jobs or positions. According to me, a position is an entry point. It's a kind of purpose to join a company. But what is really important, it's once again to align my personal journey with the mission of the company. And to do so, I've got to grab all the opportunities to develop myself, to contribute in a way that really resonates with my personal journey. And job, okay, it's not agile enough. Now you've got to deal in terms of projects, in terms of opportunities, activities. And so you've got to think differently, even the way, once again, you assign objectives. And it's about to be demonstrated in really a few minutes. So you need tools. We believe in that, obviously, and it's true that even at Talentsoft, with 600 employees, without tools to match aspirations with needs, it's extremely complicated. And the goal of all that, it's to favor shared leadership. It's not about the 10% or 15% of your top talents. Done deal. Even superheroes with the Justice League say that you won't save the world alone. Why? Because problems are more and more complex. And so the pace of new problems and the complexity of problems is so important that you've got to invent new solutions every day, every week, every month, and you need all the energies to do so. Not only the top talents, not only CEO, CDO, CMO, I don't know what, you need everyone. But to do so, you've got to know them. And it's been mentioned by you, Alexandre. We got to know the people we are working with. We've got to know their aspirations. And so you've got to go deeper. It's not about human resources. No, it's about human people and all their complexity. And you need that, and you need their aspirations to really connect their intentions and expectations with your mission. And actually, you've got to really leverage generational mix. We are afraid of this generational mix today. We talk about Gen Z, Gen Y, they are not engaged anymore. And I can tell you it's not true. It's not true. We all want the same thing. Everyone wants to wake up in the morning and get this dream job. The only thing that, yes, when we are more than 40, like me, maybe you're less natural with the latest device. We will be less natural with AI. But we can learn that. What you cannot learn is your culture, education, all that stuff that makes who you are. And that's what really matters. And it's not a matter of generational. That's why let's leverage these differences and we can optimize all the energy. And what I really like today, and we've been talking about that a lot yesterday, it's CSR, corporate social responsibility. You were, during the roundtable, mentioning the mission of the company, but there is a very simple proof point of the mission of the company. It's CSR. As Talentsoft is dealing, we are claiming in front of you that we want to fluidify the labor market, that we want to reinvent the people at work experience. But CSR is a very good way to prove it. If all the people joining Talentsoft come because they want to take part to this great mission, which is in a way, a social mission, we've got to show them, we've got to show you that the mission is for real. That's why at Talentsoft, we are helping NGOs that, for instance, working in the employment, and some people that are maybe less educated than us, that don't have all the codes, all the habits of the labor market. We kind of mentor people to tell them, oh, you should do that during the hiring interview. Maybe you should dress this or this way, you should do that, you should look at this website, learn that, develop your aspirations. And what we do for real, we encourage people to be who they are. Not to lie, but to be genuine. Because once again, it's all about the cultural match. So what we believe in is this alignment between people, company, you customers. It's a whole community. And I'm very, very, very happy and glad to say that at Talentsoft, this is our mission. This is what we are running after every day. And I know that Elodie and all the team are going to show that to you in a few minutes. So thank you very much for your